Hey everybody, I'm Somm Wine Guy, and I have got some wine for you. This is the 2019 Collemattoni Adone Rosso Toscano. This is a red wine from Tuscany made from Sangiovese and Merlot by the famed winery Collemattoni. So, Collemattoni is based in Montalcino, so just south of the town of Montalcino, on a hilltop overlooking the Val d'Orcia, in one of the most historic areas of Tuscany, famed for producing Brunello di Montalcino. Now, Colemattone also produces Brunello di Montalcino and Rosso di Montalcino, but we're talking about their Rosso Toscano today, which is a IGP. So it's a declassified, a regional wine just coming from Tuscany because it doesn't fit into the requirements and the legal definition of what it means to be Brunello or Rosso, which have to be 100% Sangiovese. So this has 5% Merlot in it, which you don't really get on the nose so much, but you do get it on the palate. It gives a softness, a roundness to the wine, and we'll get there once we actually do our tasting today. But a little bit of backstory, a little bit of history. So the Bucci family that owns Colemattoni have lived in the area around Montalcino and Sant'Angelo since at least the 1600s. The first records of the family having resided at this property in Collemattone come from the 1800s, and the winery actually didn't start until 1984, I believe, 84, 85. So Marcello Bucci, the current kind of patriarch of the family, the generation of the Buccis that is currently residing in the area, started the winery with the help from his father, Adone, in 1985. He was trained by Maria Flora Follini, who is one of the kind of most famous women of Brunello. She's the aunt of the current winemaker for Follini, which is Roberto Follini, and she trained Marcello Bucci as well and kind of gave him his start in his kind of boost at the beginning of his career and taught him how to make proper Brunello and Rosso and Sangiovese in the region. So you would think with a family that has this much history in the area that the wines and the approach to winemaking in Colemattoni would be very traditional, very regimented, old school. And there is some elements of that, but they've also taken a very kind of modern infused approach to winemaking. So very sustainably focused, very environmentally conscious. All of the vineyards are organically farmed, if not certified. They have a biomass boiler on the property for heat. They have solar panels for energy. They have a rainwater collection system, so they're recycling their water, all in the service of just creating great quality wine with as little environmental impact as possible and respecting the natural environment. So, Adone, if you caught the name of Marcello's father, Adone, this wine was named for him and as a tribute to his help in starting the winery, and also for the Greek god Adonis, who is the god of beauty and vitality and rebirth. So, like I said, Sangiovese Merlot 95.5, done in neutral oak and concrete. So we've got no oak influence. This is all about freshness. It's all about the kind of vibrancy and youthfulness of Sangiovese. I love that this wine smells so characteristic of Tuscan Sangiovese. It has this bright, tangy, red fruited, red cherry, red plum, this slight of kind of dusty, herbaceous quality to it, a little bit of dried floral, but it's young. It's all about, like I said, energy, vivacity, life, vibrancy. And it definitely gives you that. Like, this is what this wine is all about. The addition of 5% Merlot just adds a little bit more body, a little bit more roundness. They're some of their younger vines, and so they don't necessarily maybe have the depth and complexity of wines that you would use for Rosso or for Brunello. So you might have kind of a lighter tasting Sangiovese. The Merlot helps to kind of balance that out by giving it a little bit of oomph, a little bit of body and roundness and creaminess, and some darker fruit, some kind of cocoa, mocha, dark cherry, a little bit more black plum, a little bit more substance. And I appreciate that it is done in such a way that it doesn't overwhelm the natural character of Sangiovese, which is what this wine is really all about. Sangiovese is just like such a beautiful, characteristic Tuscan variety that deserves respect, and especially in this area, which has such a history with producing wines, incredible wines made from Sangiovese. The tannins are supple, they're soft, they're really silky. The acidity is really well balanced with the intensity of the fruit. So it's tart and fresh, but not acidic in a way that it seems astringent or bitter or overly tart. Like I said, really fine line walking that balance point between fruit and zestiness, body and freshness, and kind of meeting in the middle there in a really nice way. This is not super dark. This is not super concentrated in color. It has just like this little bit of bricking and orange on the rim as well, which is for me pretty classic Sangiovese character, especially with a couple of years bottle age. And just starting to see a little bit of development. So you get a little bit of earthy, a little bit of mushroom, a little bit of that dried earth character, like walking down a dusty path, kicking up that kind of dust and kind of earth underneath your feet, which I love. It's just such a picturesque kind of thing, walking around in Tuscany, dirt underneath your feet, kicking up the dust. And this time of year, too, this is exactly the kind of wine that I want to be enjoying. It's still warmer during the day, but cooler nights, starting to transition into kind of fall autumn dishes and warmer, more comfort food focused things, and all of the beautiful vegetables and harvest that's available right now in autumn. You've got mushrooms and squash and root vegetables and brassicas like Brussels sprouts and chicory and things like that, where there's like a nuttiness and earthiness and a savory, even some bitter green components to some of those things. You've got game meats. You can start like thinking about stews and stuff like that. In Tuscany, you like very traditionally would have like wild boar is available kind of in the winter months, mushrooms, truffles, squashes, all of that kind of lends itself really, really nicely to this style of wine. This is going to give you the freshness and the brightness and the fruit, and then you contrast it with something that is deeper and richer and savory and earthy. Yeah, give me like this wild boar stew with polenta and like fresh harvest mushrooms. Mm. I'm excited to share such a great introduction to a spectacular winery. Taste the Adone, the Rosso Toscano, and then seek out their Rosso di Montalcino, their Brunello di Montalcino, the current vintages that are available. You can get them at private liquor stores around BC, and I highly recommend checking them out because they always offer a really spectacular value quality price ratio as well. So happy to share with everybody. Thank you for watching. This is the Collemattoni Adone Rosso Toscano. All right, we'll see you next time. Cheers.